If you want to make any money with meme coins, you absolutely must understand the fundamentals. But here's the thing, I'm not going to give you a get-rich-quick strategy because that's not what you need. What you need is to understand psychology behind why some coins run, and then the tactics to use that psychology in order to get paid. And I started trading meme coins back in April, and since then, I've managed to make over $600,000. And I want to help you make it too. So let's not waste any time, and let's get started.
They're off.
Okay, so first thing you have to understand that meme coin is not a business. It's not a product. It's not even a coin. A meme coin is a story that people buy into. And the price of that coin is basically a live scoreboard of how many people currently care. So the question is never, is this coin good? The question is, can this story spread fast enough and stay alive long enough for me to get paid? Now I'm gonna break fundamentals into 3 parts, okay? Narrative. A meme coin is attention. But attention does not come from nowhere. Where does it come from? It comes from narratives. And if you don't know which narrative category are you looking at, you're basically trading blind because each category moves differently, attracts different players, and dies for different reasons. So let's add some structure. There are a few core narrative buckets you'll see over and over again. For example, tweet plays. This is when somebody on Twitter who has a lot of influence posts something and it instantly gets turned into a coin. And it can be anything. Let's say Elon Musk posts a picture of his dog and names him Marty, or Trump says something ridiculous. Then you have project-based narratives or AI narratives, which is usually some tech project. But if you don't understand the tech, it can get very gambly because there's a lot of fake projects there. Another type of narrative is animals. It can be some cute viral animal on TikTok that looks funny or has a funny name and just explodes. They work because they're simple, repeatable, and easy to spread online. Another type of narrative that you're gonna see quite often is justice narrative. This is when somebody gets hurt or attacked or even maybe dies, and then they will basically deploy a coin for that person. Perfect example is when Kirk got shot and killed, they ran justice for Kirk and it went to millions instantly. You can debate the ethics, but the point is market reacts how it reacts. Then you got psyop lore narratives. They're deep, not obvious, this means something bigger type stories. Usually somebody's actively pushing the lore. They can be dangerous though, because they pull people into belief more than the evidence, in the sense that enough people buy the story and it turns into a major narratives. Those narratives can be great if you're on the psyop. And another one which has been dominating the trenches lately is the crime narrative, the cabal narrative, or at least that's how we call it. Those are basically coins that have no reason to run, and usually it's a team behind them pushing these coins. They're injecting volume and basically creating hype. 99% of the times, price action of those coins is manipulated, and people who are running that coin usually have most of the supply, and it's a huge risk. However, if you actually learn these wallets and who's behind these crimes, you can get paid too. Then we have CCM, aka Creative Capital Markets. This is basically creators who can launch a coin on Pump Fund and then stream it. Usually it's, I'm donating fees to this charity, we're doing something crazy live. It's more of a community-driven spectacle. Those narratives can run, but you're kind of relying on the live itself. So what often can happen is a live stream can just get broken and shut off by accident, and then the coin will just dump, and it will dump hard. And yes, there are more categories of narratives, but I will do a dedicated video on the narrative specifically. But for now, the most important thing you need to understand is narrative is number 1. Because you can have a coin that looks dangerous on paper, but if the narrative is godlike, none of it matters. Narrative comes first. Everything else is second. Okay, the second part of fundamentals would be people in the space, players, people who you play with and against. In meme coins, who's in the coin is more important than what the coin claims to be. There are different player types and they leave fingerprints. Some are small and fast, some are slow and patient, some are pure momentum, and some are pure distribution. And then there are a few wallets that are so aggressive they can literally move chart by themselves. Usually these guys we call whales or quants. One of their buys can literally push a coin from 100k to 500k like this. Wallets like Gake or OGN are the type of traders we're talking about here, because when those types of wallets commit, the market will actually react. That does not mean copy trade. It means learn what kind of player just entered your room. Because meme coins are a multiplayer game. Every wallet has a style, styles repeat, and patterns create probabilities. So instead of asking, is this chart bullish? You start asking, what kind of wallets are here? What do these wallets usually do? This is where wallet tracking and know how to wallet track becomes a real edge. For example, with the crime cabal narratives. If you see a wallet repeatedly being involved with these crime coins, your brain should immediately go, okay, this might get pushed. This might get controlled. I might make a lot of money. And then the different rules apply. That does not mean buy. That does not mean sell. That means just awareness. And there's so many players in this space and there's so many wallets to track. And if you don't know where to start, which wallets to track, I have a wallet list of what I've believed to be the most important people in the space and wallets that are actually worthy of tracking. And if you want that list, just join my Telegram and it's right there. The link is in the description below. Bottom line is, players are the second fundamental because players create moves. Just like I made moves on your sister last night. The third fundamental is meta. And if you have played any competitive games, you already know this. Fortnite has meta. Warzone, my personal favorite, has meta. Meme coins have meta too. Marty, what is meta? Meta is simply what the market is currently rewarding. Here's how metas get created. A platform can push an update or introduce a new feature. When PumpFun introduced live streams back in September, it didn't just add a feature. It created a whole period where creator-based coins were just blowing up and getting all the attention. And literally, we were not trading anything but that for like months. Another type of meta can be just like a monster runner, right? One coin can just go absurd and the market will just try to copy the formula. For example, we had fart coin, right? Then we had a bunch of fart type coins. Fart this, fart that, fart this, fart that. If there's a coin about an animal and it becomes big, we're gonna be in the animal meta. And then there can be a launchpad meta. Sometimes the narrative is not the meta, it's where coins are created. You can get periods when one launchpad completely dominates the flow and attention of the entire market. For example, this summer, Bonk, which is another launchpad, completely took over, and for a month or two, we were just trading Bonk coins. And just like narrative, there's a lot of different types of meta too, but for now, the most important thing for you to understand is that the metas are important, because metas compress uncertainty. And that in this market, like any other market, is extremely valuable. Because when you know what meta you're in, you stop asking yourself, can anything run? Is this coin good? Is this coin bad? And you start asking yourself, does this fit what the market is paying for right now? And of course, you will also learn to feel when the meta is dying, because the meta always dies, by the way. And they die because they get rinsed out. Too many copycats, too many low effort coins. God knows we have a lot of those. Basically, too many people trying to force the same play. And naturally, the attention just moves on. My least favorite market is when there's no type of meta. Dude, that shit is insanely hard. And you might be asking, how do you get good at meta? There's no shortcut. You get good by watching flow every day. MEMECOINS, charts, what's bonding, what's getting ignored, what narratives keep repeating, and what narratives stop working. Meta is the third fundamental because it tells you what people are even willing to care about right now. And those three pillars of fundamentals, narrative, players, and meta, is extremely important for you to understand if you want to be successful and make money with meme coins. And if you understand those, you're Gucci. So remember this, narrative tells you a story, players tells you who is moving it, and the meta is telling you whether the market is in the mood for that story. That's it. Before we wrap up this video, there's one more important fundamental that usually beginners ignore. And that's why they feel lost even when they get the narratives. It's the space. What space? The crypto space. And more specifically, crypto Twitter, aka CT. Because meme coins don't live on charts. They live in conversations. Yappa dappa doo. This is where everything actually happens. This is where you get the news, a very important news that can literally shift the entire market. A war headline hits Twitter, sentiment shifts, and the market bleeds. Or a bullish announcement drops and everything starts ripping. If you're not on Twitter following the right people, you'll always be late. Crypto Twitter is important. This is where tweet play narratives are born. This is where you feel the market mood in real time. And the most important thing is, this is where you learn who matters, what matters, and what's just noise. And this is where Twitter Tracker becomes extremely useful. A Twitter Tracker is basically a feed of selected accounts that matter in this space, and it tracks when they post, follow, reply, or interact with anyone or anything. The key is speed. The moment this happens, it hits your tracker in real time. And you, my friend, are very lucky, because when I started, Twitter trackers were extremely expensive, but now there's a bunch of them that are absolutely free, and they're really good. The popular ones are Rapid Launch, Uxento, and J7. I will put all of them in the description down below. One feature that is genuinely overpowered is the sound notifications for specific accounts. So basically, you can set it up so if a certain account tweets or does anything, it will actually ping you a sound noti when it happens, so you can react without babysitting and staring at the fucking Twitter tracker all day like a fucking idiot. Basically, when you're not locked in on Twitter, everything will feel random for you. That was me at the start. I remember seeing Elon tweet and my entire VC went insane. Coins just started running left and right and I'm sitting there like, what the fuck is happening? Because I didn't know who he was yet. Elon isn't just some random account. He's literally the founder of Pump Fund, the launchpad that basically changed the entire game with Solana meme coins. And I was just clueless. That's why it's very important to be on Twitter and understand the crypto Twitter and know who is who. So here's the point. If you want to get good at meme coins and make some money, you don't just study the coins. You also have to study the room. You follow people, you pay attention, you watch how narratives start. You learn which accounts create attention and which ones are just chasing it. And once you're actually inside the space, everything gets easier. Narratives get easier to spot, players get easier to read, and meta just gets easier to feel. If you're not on Twitter, you're basically trading from the outside looking in. If you're just starting out and you don't know anybody on Twitter and who you should follow on Twitter, follow me on Twitter. I've created like a beginner list of people who are very important in the space that I think you should follow. And if you want that list, join my Telegram and follow me on Twitter, motherfucker. So that's it. That's the fundamentals of meme coins. Before you do anything else, first thing you need to understand and first thing you need to learn is these fundamentals. And you must understand these and you must learn these before you do anything else. Because without this, you're just gonna get wrecked. You're just gonna lose your money following some crypto kid who's gonna tell you, oh my god, you can get rich quickly with millions and just trade these coins and blah, 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 blah. No, understand these fundamentals and everything else will be easier. But fundamentals alone won't make you money. Because now that you know psychology of meme coins, you need a process to be able to execute and actually make money. So in the second part of Meme Coins 101, we will focus on exactly that. We're going into a technical part of meme coins. Not traditional technical analysis, the trench analysis and how to actually make money. Which platform you use, how you fund and structure your wallets, filters, presets, fees, multi-wallet setups, bundles, bubble maps, distribution. All of that is what you're gonna find out in the second videos of Meme Coins 101. The technicals. And that video is coming out real soon, so make sure you subscribe and put on that sound noti so you don't miss the video. You know what I'm saying? If anything in this video helped you, please do me a favor, like it, and share it with your friends. Other than that, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace!